Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the hangar. So lately I've been receiving a lot of comments and questions regarding the fabric covering that I'm using on my 1946 Cessna 140 project. A lot of comments and questions like, are you really using fabric to cover the wings? Is that safe? Or are you using bed sheets to cover it? That seems crazy, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about this today in this video. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll get you up to speed on different types of covering for an aircraft. Let's get to it. All right, so to first start off this video, I would like to begin by breaking down the different types of covering slash skin on an aircraft into 4 different categories. Those categories are aluminum, wood, composite slash fiberglass, and fabric. Now I'm going to quickly just give a brief summary of each one. We'll talk a little bit pros and cons of each one. So let's begin with aluminum. All right, so aluminum has been around for many decades. Probably 96-97% of the aircraft that you see flying around today or that you have flown on most likely had aluminum skins both on the wings and the fuselage. Aluminum is extremely lightweight. And once it's constructed correctly, it can be extremely strong. So here I have aluminum skin for an aileron. You can see this skin right here is extremely flexible and pliable, and you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't look very strong. But when you rivet in ribs and rivet it all together to a spar, it kind of looks like something like this, and it's extremely strong. Like, I can't torque it, I can't flex it around at all. Very strong. Aluminum is also very readily available for the most part. Here recently it's getting a little more difficult to find it, but it's always been very readily available. You can also use fasteners or a bonding process to put the skin together. Repairs are fairly straightforward on aluminum as far as like even field repairs, not a big deal. Paint prep is usually pretty quick and simple as well. It typically goes through a sand and fill process and then prime and paint. Once it's painted, it's a very sleek, smooth surface, which is very nice looking. All right, so with aluminum, corrosion resistance is one of the most critical things to think about. So you just need to ensure that it's properly treated to prevent any corrosion in the future. And that's pretty much it for aluminum. Let's move on to wood. Okay, so wood really hasn't been used much in years. They used it way back in the 30s, even the 20s. Problem with wood is that it's just really heavy. Repairs can be extremely difficult. If something hits it, it'll typically either completely break or crack or splinter. And you can do repairs, it's possible, but just extremely difficult. The other thing about wood is that you have to ensure that it's been properly treated so that moisture doesn't get into it. And so ensuring that it has the proper urethane or something like that to prevent moisture from penetrating into the wood grain is extremely important. So wood really isn't used much anymore these days, except maybe on some experimental aircraft, but that's it. All right, so the next one is composite slash fiberglass. Now this is kind of an interesting one. It's a somewhat of a newer process, especially composite, within the last couple decades. It seems as though a lot of the aircraft that are flying out there right now that have composite built into them, it's somewhat over-engineered. They're pretty heavy. I think there's just a lot of unknowns yet with this process. All right, so just a couple quick things about composite material. One is that it's extremely strong, whether it be Kevlar or carbon fiber or just typical composite, very strong material. Here is a Kevlar panel. This panel here is about 3/16 thick, very strong. Like, it's hard. There's no way you could ever bend it. I would say this piece right here is probably stronger than steel. It is so hard. A lot of aircraft use this type of Kevlar material, especially on like leading edges. If they don't have a heated leading edge, they'll use it on the leading edge because it helps prevent bird strikes from actually penetrating through the leading edge and causing damage underneath. All right, so just a quick spoiler alert. I've got several of these panels right here. I think in the next video, I'm gonna have some fun. We're gonna go see just exactly how strong they are. So definitely wanna stay tuned for that video. The other great thing about composite material is that it provides an extremely smooth and sleek exterior surface. Really, the manufacturer can design any contoured shape that they want, and it will turn out amazing if done right. The one thing I would say, though, about composite material is that it does require some very specialized tooling to get repairs done. Typically, you've got to have either a block or die or something like that to get the exterior shape correct. You also need to have some specialized vacuum type equipment to suck down all the air bubbles and get it to cure properly. All right, last but not least is fabric covering, the one we've all been waiting for, right? All right, so fabric covering is somewhat lightweight. We'll say that installation is pretty easy. It's fairly straightforward. However, it is extremely time consuming. That's what we've learned with this one right here. So with fabric covering, there are several different manufacturers that you can choose from. For me and my Cessna 140, we decided to go with the Polyfiber system. Not a sponsor yet. Great thing about this fabric is that it is extremely tear resistant. It's made out of a polyester type material, very tear resistant. It's also very resistant to like rock punctures and stuff like that. So I've got a small piece of the fabric right here. This is like the fabric. That's what it looks like before it gets put on the wings. And so to demonstrate just how strong it is, I'm going to try to tear this. Now, first of all, I'm not saying that I'm a really tough guy, but I've been known to rip a phone book or two in half. Okay, we got the phone book in the mail today. Here it is. It's about 1 inch thick.
Out of here.
All right, so I've got this piece of fabric here. Let's see if I can rip it in half. No, not gonna happen. Just a couple other good things about fabric covering. Once it's all completed and painted up, it's a really nice smooth surface, pretty classic look, I would say. It also absorbs vibration when the engine is running and the aircraft is flying. And then also repairs are pretty straightforward as well. Can be done in the field, not a problem. Well, those are the 4 different types of material used on aircraft. Hope you learned something from this video. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. Check us out on YouTube. Just simply search for Hebert Aviation. It's all one word. There we are. Subscribe to us. You can also check us out on Facebook. As always, give me some comments. I'd love to hear from you if you got any questions or whatever. Also, can make another video. Not a problem. So, once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.